Hey guys, welcome back to the channel Everyday Carry for the Everyday Guys. So last weekend I did a video about my nightstand setup and a few people saw that on my nightstand I was running the last line of defense holster. This is the Associate V2 and I was asked whether or not I still EDC this holster. Do I still carry it every day? And the answer to that question is no. It's got to do with tactical reloads. Now, whenever you put the word tactical in front of something, things get a bit scary, but tactical reloads, it's actually a thing. And let me give you an example of what a tactical reload is. Now, you are going to see my firearm quite a lot in this video. I just want to show you that is empty and safe, and so are the mags that you see in this video. So, a tactical reload effectively is when you change mags and retain the mag that was originally in the firearm. So what happens is you've got a mag in your firearm and a situation arises where you need to use your firearm and you don't know whether you fired 7 shots or 473. All you know is your slide isn't locked back and you're kind of certain that there are still rounds in the chamber. However, there's a lull in the combat and you take this moment to replace mags or top off your mag so that should you need to go to work again, you have a full mag. Effectively, you would reach for your mag if you're carrying it in an appendix rig in the exact same way you would reach for it as you would normally with your index finger towards the front end of the mag, like that. That allows for good indexing. However, at some point during your reload movement, you would bring your index finger across, so it's like a, you know what that is. Effectively, this creates an opening and a degree of dexterity between your thumb and index finger. What you'd then do is with your firearm, you would take out the old mag, seat the new mag, drive it home, and this mag would then go back into your mag carrier. So now you've got a mag probably with rounds, and if you do it properly, you'll be able to see the brass of the round, so you'll know you still have rounds in this mag, and you'd seat that back into your mag carrier, and then you know you have a fully topped off mag should you need to defend yourself further. This is not something you would do like in the heat of combat, okay? If you are busy defending yourself and you needed to fire or you needed to move, whatever the case would be, you wouldn't do a tactical reload then. You do it when you are behind cover and you have the time to replace your mag and store the old mag. This is different to a speed reload. A speed reload is effectively you dump the mag, it drops on the ground, and you slot a new mag and you go. Speed reloads are normally what you do if you run dry and the fight is still continuing. Know the difference between the two. Where this comes, or where the problem comes in with the last line of defense holster, and I don't want to say the last line of defense holster because that's actually not correct. This problem is with all single clip holsters. When I go to do a tactical reload, the way I train is I will train in like slices, right? So for example, tonight, if I worked on my draw stroke, it would be 50 repetitions of that. If tomorrow I worked on speed reloads, it would be 50 repetitions of that. If the day after I worked on tactical reloads, it would be 50 repetitions of that. I know it's not a lot, but that way it's not so much that you have to dedicate a lot of time to it, which makes you not want to do it, but it's enough to build in some muscle memory. And if you do it every single day, because it's such a short slice, it's easier to do, right? When I do these reloads, I would go from one mag to the other mag and then draw that same mag out and do the same thing again and just repeat it all the time, right? Just building up the finger muscle memory. And trust me guys, it's not something you're going to learn in the first 5 minutes. It's very, if all you've ever done is speed reloads, it's something very counterintuitive, okay? And it's something you do need to drill. As simple as what it may look, trust me, go and do it if you haven't done it before. You will see it's something you actually need to drill. What I found with these single clip holsters, when I would go to reseat the mag in the holster, this would happen. Okay, and I'll chuck in some B-roll, or maybe I have already chucked in some B-roll, and then I'd find that going for the repetition, I'd have to straighten my holster, and I'd do it again, and it would go skew, and I'd have to straighten my holster again. And I thought to myself, well, I'm using a 17-round mag and a 15-round mag with a +2. If I used a normal 15-round mag, that mag now becomes almost inaccessible. So let me paint the picture for you here so you can understand why I no longer run single clip holsters because of the sideways movement. Let's say you are in a situation where you need to defend yourself. Trust me, you're not going to be able to count bullets, or at least I'm not going to be able to count bullets. I've done this before. It's going to be very hard for me to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, not going to happen. So if I am in a situation where I need to defend myself and I've fired rounds and the fight isn't over, I would then decide if there's a lull in the fight, if I'm behind cover and I have 3 seconds, or at least I think I have 3 seconds, I would do a tactical reload, switch out mags, almost like topping up your magazine in a video game, right? You know when you replace mags in a video game, you don't lose the rounds that's in the mag? Kind of the similar concept, okay? And then I'd be able to continue the fight. Now, if that fight does continue, and I have to use my firearm again, and I have a malfunction, I would then do a speed reload, right? Because I'm now in a fight. I don't have time to secure that mag. If I'm going to drop that mag, I'm going to drop it and I go back to my old mag just so that I can continue the fight. And the problem was I found that with this situation, every time I would put a mag in, it would twist sideways and it became really hard to reacquire that magazine. And that is effectively the reason I no longer run this holster as an EDC holster and why I no longer run single clip holsters. Now, this isn't the only single clip holster I have. I've got about 6 of them. This is the only one I've reviewed because the others, they just didn't make the cut. They weren't holsters that I was prepared to talk about. They were good efforts from certain companies, but in my opinion, they just didn't make the cut. So when you run a dual clip holster, this is a Southwest Holsters custom Rattler, okay, for the Olight PL Pro. Look at how nice that's molded, by the way. Like, look at that. That molding is like perfectly formed to the firearm. One of the things I really like, there's no excess material because you've got a lot to work with here. Side point. When you're in a holster with 2 clips, there's a clip on the mag carrier and a clip on the holster, shall I say, the section holding your firearm. So even though you press down, it doesn't do that, or it can't do that really. So that mag is always where you left it, so you can run repeatable drills. And if you can repeat the drill, right, it's good preparation for if you ever needed to do it in real life. The whole concept of train like you fight. If I'm in a fight and I do a tactical reload, I don't want to have to recenter my mag. So in many ways, the reason I don't run single clip holsters is very similar to the reason I used to run them. That single clip allows the mag to move with your body. And I was a huge advocate of that until my training evolution brought this problem to light. Now, I do want to say I've never had a problem where the single clip has come loose. I think I actually did like jumping jacks in one video with this holster on to prove that a properly seated clip with belt and pants will secure a single clip holster well enough. However, I've tried pretty much everything I could and there's no way I can negate this problem. Even if I'm very gentle in sliding that mag into the mag carrier section, I still find it just dips downwards. And like I said earlier, if you run a normal 15 round mag, you're almost going to lose that mag when it dips down. So that completely defeats the purpose of running a tactical reload because you're effectively losing that mag. Now, a lot of people will also ask me, why would you put the mag back in the mag carrier section? Why don't you just put it in your pocket? And my reasoning for that, and if it's wrong, it's wrong. It's just my own personal opinion. Remember, everything on this channel is an opinion. Nothing is a recommendation. If I'm putting this mag back into the mag carrier because it's still rounds in the mag, if I ever needed to go retrieve that mag, I would want to go to the place I always go to retrieve a mag, which is the mag carrier. I don't want this one time in the heat of the moment to be fiddling around. Oh, I put it in my pocket. It was my back pocket, my front pocket. No, I want it where I always train my mag to be, which is why I like to go back to our mag carrier. Remember, guys, tactical reloads are something you would generally do if you have time. You're behind cover. There's a degree of safety and you're just topping off your mag so that you know should anything happen again, you have at least 15, 17, 16 rounds in your firearm because, you know, we lose track of things like this. Even in training courses, I've lost track of the amount of rounds I've fired. So To those people who asked why this is now my sort of my bedside holster, and as a bedside holster, it's basically just there like I said in my review of my nightstand, or shall I say a nightstand holster. As a nightstand holster, it's just there for me to have one layer of security for myself. And I mentioned this last week, and I'll re-mention it. If at 4 o'clock in the morning you wake up and you're groggy, you don't want to go straight to a live firearm, right? You want to go to something that is just one layer of security. And also remember, as EDCers, the language of let's get serious is when you remove a firearm from the holster. So I wanted that continuity in my nightstand to where when I remove the firearm from my holster, it clicks a switch in my brain and says, hey, wake up. If you're not already awake, wake up because you just pulled a gun out of a holster. Okay, I would never do that unless it's a deadly serious situation. I hope that makes sense, guys. Remember, I just want to say something. I'm not a firearms instructor. I'm not a trainer. So go and listen to what your instructors have to say about this. Don't take my word for it. I hope my 2 cents maybe opened your mind to something. But that is the reason that this guy does not get EDC'd by me anymore. It's a really great holster. Everything else about it is spectacular. It's probably one of the best holsters I've owned, and I really enjoyed carrying it. But as my evolution of training directs my gear path, training will direct your gear. Right? As you begin to train more harshly, more aggressively, or more techniques, you'll begin to see, maybe that gear doesn't work as well as I might have liked it. I've got to look at something else. And that's pretty much now why when I run a firearm with a spare mag in a mag carrier, it's one of Southwest holsters. They offer what I want. I like this light platform, high lumen, high candela, and I like the ability to run a spare mag as well. So guys, I hope that makes sense to all the people who asked. Next week will be a bug out bag video. If this is something you like, please leave a like, share, and subscribe. If there's something more you want to know about, comment down below. Please remember, guys, everything on the channel is an opinion, nothing is a recommendation. I will see you soon for another review. Cheers. God bless.